I fell in love with and married my stalker. Indeed, as the title suggests, I wed my stalker. Let's refer to him as C. Some may label me insane, many would say I'm damaged, but honestly, I'm indifferent. He and I have known each other since elementary school. He was a year older, so we never really conversed. The school I attended had a small courtyard where students could pass their lunch breaks. I frequented that spot nearly every day, and it wasn't until the final month of school that I noticed he would stand there watching me. It genuinely unsettled me. After a few days, I spoke to teachers and others, but no one considered it an issue, so nothing changed. By the time I graduated, things escalated. He started leaving lengthy notes in my bag, trailing behind me home, and shadowing me at school, among other things. This carried on for several years. I want to clarify that I did reach out to the police, multiple times in fact, yet they either didn't recognize the issue or simply didn't care. Every encounter ended with, "I'm sorry, ma'am, we can't assist you." Looking back, I should mention that C never once threatened me with violence. Still, I was quite disturbed. Eventually, I suppose I acclimated to it. I'd wake up, head to work knowing he was not far behind, not seeing him for several hours while on the job, and then walking home with the knowledge he was trailing me. Occasionally, he would leave me small flowers or notes. That winter, I received a devastating call. My mother and sister had perished. They had been involved in a head-on collision, but thankfully, they suffered no pain. They were my sole family. My father had died when I was young, so it was just the three of us. I had mentioned him to them too, but my mother didn't think it was serious. I loved her nonetheless. I felt utterly shattered. I isolated myself at home for days. I couldn't summon the energy for anything. On the fourth day, I heard a desperate knock at my door. It was him. It was the first time he had come to my house since our school days. Usually, he would linger across the street before returning to his home. Seeing him caused me to break down once more. I collapsed on the floor, crying for a solid minute before he touched me. In that moment, I felt an unexpected warmth with him and shared everything that transpired. Being so close, I perceived a different picture in my mind. He wasn't a scruffy man, but rather the attractive kid from school, still looking good after all those years. Within a week, he would bring me meals, write me more notes, and even crafted a blanket to help me sleep. Eventually, I welcomed him inside my home. He would cradle me until I fell asleep, and so much more. I soon discovered that he worked from home, which clarified much about him. The pay from his job was decent, thus accounting for all the gifts and food he brought. We had an in-depth conversation. He expressed remorse for his previous conduct and vowed to reveal everything about himself if it brought me joy. It did. I learned that his family resided in a different country, which explained why I hadn't seen them. Shortly after, we began walking together to work, hand in hand. I soon realized I was developing feelings for him. Fast forward to the present. We no longer reside in the city, and I also work from home. We inhabit a lovely house with ample land for our dog and prospective children to roam freely. It's beautifully serene. I acknowledge this tale may portray him negatively, but I assure you he's not. He is an affectionate and thoughtful husband who has never harmed me once. I love him dearly.